Well, it looks like Trump was very rude on the day that they was able to start the procedures to get a new health care bill. Look out! Look here. It rained. It rained so much, so you can see the plants. So, and that's the kale. I gotta thin that out. We're trying. The garden's getting bigger. I gotta go around the side of this house. Oops. Oh, this came out. It was supposed to be in here. There we go. Alright, let's slip it in here. I don't want to get any critters. See, I gotta clean all this through here. There's sage here. I gotta clean out through there. Poison ivy's taking over. I got someone now that knows how to do yard work. The guys here, they do great work for guys. Not so great. Oh well, they got issues. They got issues like Trump. So, anyway, get this fixed sort of better. When I went to church last Sunday, they had a dinner where they were charging everybody $5, but it was Western wear, and they folded these handkerchiefs up. So I put mine on my neck with the star they had gave. But I thought today, I'm a little pussy. No, it's not like those I figured it looked like the pussy hats that they were wearing on the Women's Day. But anyway, so I tied my hair up, just trying to do something. I braided it first. I tied it up, trying to go around there. It's like poison ivy. They got most of the poison ivy down for me, thank God. So, I got extra stuff that started coming up. Some other stuff. I have some stuff to put out there. Just a matter of doing it. And but anyway, getting back to Trump. I'm really sitting here like I don't feel like doing yard work. I went out there a little bit and started like cleaning it off the side, but I had picked up the wrong hose. I had to go and get the other one, and I decided I have gotten a little tired. But anyway, just thinking about Trump and the way that they acted, I thought they were very disrespectful to that guy in Australia, making him wait 3 hours. And then during the guy's time with the president of the United States, the Australia guy has to listen to some. I still think he has a schizoid brain. I still, like it always comes off the beginning looking like a dementia. They had another name for it when I was a kid, senile. I think he's more senile, which is also, of course, a form of dementia. But I remember, like, when I was little, I used to say people that got syphilis, they could. Well, there's a Japanese warrior I used to watch. Well, just a few years back, I got hip to him, and he's just a great blind man that kicks ass and knows how to hustle good money, But anyway, but his problem was he went blind because he had syphilis, and it made me very interested in the story because they here in the Mississippi, Tupelo, Mississippi. I'm sure I got that wrong, but it's the same place that I believe. They have a university, a black university at. It escapes me now, but But anyway, they did trials with syphilis here, and there was a black lady that was working with it, and the rumor was that she had got treated so bad by the white people in the school to where they had got she had got pregnant, and they found she had syphilis. But anyway, when they finished like giving her the like abortion or whatever, she was sterile. So she was able to take out her hate and her frustration and her anger uh, on the black male community there easily. So like they would use festering up hate as a way to get white people to do uh, things to themselves. It's just uh, like when I first came here, everybody was saying, "Oh well, the white man whooped us when we were slaves. That's why I whooped my child." So, um, which is not logical, but you can't break the habit. It's just like when they get kids, they forget their childhood there for a minute. It's like somebody with dementia could talk about 1942, but can't tell you nothing about uh, uh, the 2017. For me either. Well, I see why this comes undone because I keep trying to. Anyway, push it down more in my head. I figure I look rustic. But anyway, getting back to in the same logic, like with Trump, you know, I think that his behavior is done from him being around a certain type of people, him being a con artist, being around other like they say like family is still best from family, and like Murdoch, is that his name, that he was able to steal so well because there were people like him, and therefore they thought they could trust him. You know, and we see that Trump was very immature, very prematurely celebrating. It's almost like the Republican Party, they have to patronize this guy in some way with kid gloves. You know, or this is exactly what they want. They want to have the United States destroyed. Maybe they think, because they exempt themselves from this new help. Because it gives too much power to corporations, to companies, to insurance companies, you know, in the healthcare, where it's not like we have a choice. If you're not making $200,000 or more a year, you have absolutely no choice. If you're making like measly compared to what they're making a year, Trump and his goons that all seem to have some Russian ties, not being Russian spies. I think that Steve Banner is a damn Russian. But anyway, the way they're making their money is by causing harm and hurt to other people, and that all stems from from a very evil place, and I think that it's none of their stuff is been put in action, but you can see by like the way, like if you ever watched the briefings that they had in the White House when Obama or Bush or Clinton or anybody else was in office, and you can see the difference with this guy who doesn't give briefings. He's not giving out information, uh, and therefore you think that if a person cannot give information, it's because they're too ignorant or they just don't know. They're educated, and I think con artists think that type of behavior is smart. And I think Trump thinks he's a fucking genius because he started off with $1 million and was able to hang out with different con artists that made him stagnated in a financial situation where he is obligated to them. I believe he's obligated to the banks. I believe he's obligated to the courts for doing all his bankruptcy for him. He's had a sister that was a judge. He's obligated to Putin. He's obligated to the oil companies. He's obligated to the corporations, because the way he does business, it doesn't do business that is I don't think he's a smart businessman. I think that he's a vindictive, a hateful. You see how he tried with Congress, tried to, like, uh, 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 um, pretty much like, oh well, if you want me to do this, he's like embezzling them or something. And I think that the people that was been in power, that in the White House and the Senate and in Congress, before he, even, because he's new to politics, they probably seen people like that. That there's nobody there that's a spring chicken. I don't think Elizabeth Warren or Miss Waters is the first, rodeo for them. So they seen people like that, and that's one thing with Paul Ryan's and Pence and all that. They think that nobody, like they fooling somebody. Nobody, like, what I'm saying? But they're recycle of the old racist, double binding hypocrite type of Cold War propaganda that's used to infiltrate and undermine and sabotage the security of the United States. And their biggest way of doing that was using the schools, going into the schools, and what was that? And Freud, like, instead of saying like some people see their mothers as a god, or see it then maybe has a bad relationship or argumentative relationship, they're like, oh, the son secretly wants to have sex with the mom. And they don't talk about their two failures. They end up alcoholics and one a junkie, and both of them dying. Yeah, and this is Freud's daughter, Anne. But anyway, so they had studies to know that the way we're treating our children with the physical, like in the whooping and the sexual abuse, cause a certain type of behavior, And since there's different extremes, they just to being schizoids, to having sexually transmitted, like um, uh, uh, well, there's a bunch of them now. But the thing is just like, so, and but once they get this type of illness, this type of behavior, uh, it, they keep projecting it on other people. It's just like uh, the Republicans now and Trump now are waiting for the Democrats to do the same type of behavior that they did to them. It's not that the Democrats are stupid or unread or inexperienced. It's just that the way they go about doing their type of life is not so much destructive. It's not so revengeful or hateful or paranoid, or putting yourself ego first and thinking that you know it all. Uh, uh, a lot of the Democrats, they're very learned. They read it. Hey, they probably read the bill, the health bill themselves. I heard it's only a page, and from what I could see from that, if that's the page I seen, I used to teach in primary school. I didn't give you an F because you're not putting in enough information that a person can understand that you know what you're talking about. It's not so much that, that's one thing with the briefings that they had. You knew and you felt secure that they had an understanding of what they were talking about. They had informations. They were able to answer the questions. Even if it was not the answer that you didn't like, they was able to be courteous, uh, as respectful, and very professional, and keep their composure. Um, and not be negative criticism, or causing morale to decline in the atmosphere in the room. So and that's what this Spence guy, this new debriefing guy, he shows that there's chaos. Just can't answer the questions. Comes out there and gives anyway. So it shows the chaos. They haven't been debriefed. It shows that they must still have the same behavior that they have seen and heard in the past with these people of their criminal, um, barbaric, inhumane, and blackmailing and embezzlement type of racism, to where um, because of their ignorance of the world, and exactly what they're doing to the land, and destroying. Like I see here, black people here, and they throw all their trash down. They're very nasty, but at the same time they think they're clean. When you could just drive around the city, and you could just see the dirt, the waters, it, you know, and this is what the Republicans, and this is what Trump is about. It's the companies, basically. That's what I want to draw it all back in. Is that the big lobbyists, for these different companies, like the oil company, uh, and uh, the banks, um, and we just have really different ways that some people choose to make money that is very harmful, not only to the structure, to any society, like prostitution, the drugs, things that are coming out Afghanistan and Turkey, with the cocaine and the heroin epidemic that we have, and now and then again with the health that we have, and now we see, like Trump, he's a man of a certain age. He's 70. He's a 70-year-old man. If you look at their history and their lifestyle, you could pretty much predict that him thinking that he's enabled to just grab women by their pussy, that he could do anything that he wants with that type of everything, that he was probably very promiscuous. So the idea that he might have syphilis, which is a nice little parasite that can enter your brain, your liver, your kidneys, your bones, your eye, cause blindness, dementia, and numerous health problems, death. Um, so that, I think that's what he is suffering from. Because a lot of men, they go to the titty bars, they enjoy women, but they're not thinking about, uh, 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 they're not thinking, uh, uh, um, and you, and personally, I think they hurt the children and damaged the children in such a way that you have like his three sons and Ivanka as a good example. You know, they're right along with him in the con, and and making the deals with China, to and talking about their products that they're selling, while they're in the White House, and their fathers the presidents. They're degrading and um, the whole presidency, um, with their behavior, and they're unclassed. They have no class. They have no morals or ethics, and no humanity. So in their sort of embarrassment and shame, to have them represent the United States.